Let the Emperor judge the righteousness of our deeds.
Hello everyone, I'm Blessed Barton and welcome to Dawn of War 2 Elite. This is Green Roof Gorge, which means it's another 1v1! Woo! Now, as you can see, it's a Green Roof Gorge and you can see by the beautiful, beautiful, beautiful waterfalls. And without further ado, we're going to begin this game. Blah 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 blah. Now, guys, I'm not adept at casting, so you'll have mercy on me if this doesn't go so way. Anyway, let's introduce the players. In the blue corner, playing as the Eldar Farseer, we have Tex, Sword of Legend, and there he is sprinting away, or she is, or it, since the guy playing a woman. Okay, we'll call it it, sprinting away. And we have TLV, Soul Drinkers, playing as the Apothecary. Soul Drinkers, one of my mates, but I won't be biased here, including that since Tex destroyed me in the September edition of the Monthly Rumble tournament. Make sure you guys go check out those games on Indra's channel. He has quite a few games and those are quite good. Anyway, so we have Tactical Marine squad coming out for Soul Drinkers, and Tex going for Double Die Avengers. Not a Banshee after this, which is actually quite interesting. And going for this top requisition point, while the first Die Avengers caps that power point. Second Scout Cod's coming out. This is Call of Duty now. Call of Duty. Scout Squad coming out for Soul Drinkers answering Call of Duty. I thought, okay, I'll just stop there now. It's a bit dead now. And we have these Die Avengers going up against this Scout Squad who's actually by itself. So might end up losing a member if Soul Drinkers doesn't get into that building quickly, which he is. Going to run into that building. That squad taking quite a bit of damage. It's going to try and get some revenge as it shoots out of that building. Or both of them shoot out of that building. Mind you, only when you get into a building, just remember that only the units are actually in the building. Units that can see out of the window can actually fire. So if you have 3 units in that building and 2 of them are facing the window, only 2 of those units will be able to fire outside, which means you're only doing 2/3 of damage. So don't expect the squad to be, in full damage. Anyway, I was talking. These Banshees are finally out on the field, getting that aspect of fleetness, which will give them 30% increased health, and also allow them to do little funny hops over cover, things like that, increases their speed as well. And also, when they get to tier 2, they have access to power blades, or mirror blades, I think, which actually just power melee instead of the executioner blade. I think that does heavy melee if you go for the aspect of strength. This is a nice little red one. Now, so Soul Drinkers resources, looks like he's going to be getting Assault Marines quite soon. Tex spending some resources on something, not sure where. Alright, the Die Avengers and also the Banshees, which means that probably won't be seeing a weapons team out very quickly for him. These scouts taking Die Avenger fire and probably going to try and decap his victory point, which they are, but they're going to be flanked, so they need to be careful. Don't want to get caught out by the Avengers. And wow, look at that, upgrading his aspect of Avenger, which gives him grenades. And we might be able to throw a grenade, but always the grenade. There's the energy loss, there's the grenade toss, and all that way. And they managed to escape out of there, but these Banshees decided to flank, taking down one of those members, and he won't be going anywhere in a hurry. Poor guy. Look, he pooed himself instead of their blood. Now he sorts. Oh, and these Tactical Marines and the Apothecary decide to retreat out of that. Probably going to wait for these Assault Marines, jump infantry on the fields. Very good against infantry units are range and against setup teams. Look how bulky they look against the tiny scout brothers. You're superiorly faster than them. And these Banshees, unaware of these Assault Marines, are just chilling, capping this point. We managed to get a cap off, but here comes the Assault Marine jump. Managed to retreat out of there. Remember guys, if you retreat before a jump happens, then you won't get the effects of knockback. However, if you don't retreat, so if you time it really badly, you'll end up retreating while you've been knocked down, which means you'll take increased damage. Or remember to fire back, remember to move, you'll just take damage. It's the same as being stunned, so let's take that into account. Blah blah blah. Need some drink, need some water, but I don't have any water at hand, so it's fine. And here comes the Shuriken Weapons team. There's Guide being used, which increases the range quite a lot. In fact, I'm not sure how much it increases the range, but I can't check because I have the numbers near me. And those guys do get suppressed, and the Apothecary is luckily out of range, and so is Tactical Marine, which means they're going to walk out. And there you go, look at the difference. The range when Guide was used was up here, so that's another, I don't know, what's that? 10 meters in Space Marine terms, or Warhammer terms. And the Assault Marines do manage to jump these guys, but Tactical Marines are decapping that point, not getting involved in this combat. We do have the setup team being engaged by the Apothecary. Tries to use knockback, but gets knocked back. And there's the heal on the Tactical Assault Marines for that perfect time heal. Scouts coming in with the knockback, shotguns. And that member ends up going down without any of the Banshees taking a model loss. And there's Doom, or Doombringer, sorry, which I didn't even see, had been purchased, which means that he'll be able to cast Doom, which I think does 30% more damage on an enemy unit. You guys might be able to correct me when it is casted, and you'll be able to see that by the debuff little circle that goes around them. These scouts were upgraded with Ezio, I can't pronounce his name as well, with a hoodie which gives him a grenade and detection symbol, which you can see above his head. These scouts over here caught out off guard by this Farseer, which is going to roll. That guy decided to just chill for a bit and decide when moving off and through the bushes. Actually, really good at running through the bushes. And will they end up getting a member loss? No. Gonna go behind that wall, probably jump in the building just to annoy this Farseer. I know, then bring him home. So the Farseer deciding to chase all of them back home, and what he's actually doing here is preventing Soul Drinkers, giving him time to cap the map, decap points in the map, and preventing Soul Drinkers from really, coming forward and dealing with it, since, well, he didn't really need to do that, but he guessed right and it worked. And she's now coming over and she's coming back down. And we actually do have Rangers on the field, which means that Tet's going for a 2-1-1-1 build, very effective. Basically, every tier 1 unit Elder has access to now is actually on the field, which means that Soul Drinkers has upgraded his units correctly and will probably have a tough time dealing with this enemy force. But has upgraded with the multicolored bolter, mastercrafted bolter, which gives him the full auto attack. There's the heal. Snipe went down on the Apothecary, but he takes it like a boss and decides to just walk away from that. And these Avengers looking all pretty with their I won't comment on their busts, but just chilling there. Not sure why the Texas decided to set up there. Probably expecting a flank. However, Soul Drinkers just decides to go around the back of this and move up towards the top, which is probably going to go for an engagement on top. These scout squads capping the victory point over there and capping that requisition point earlier. I'm kind of wondering why he's decided to do that, since, he has shotguns here. These scouts are probably the ones capping, since these guys are the main ones for the engagement. But don't mind me, I'm not Soul Drinkers, so I don't know what he's thinking in this predicament. We have the Rangers decapping his point, the Farseer coming in there, kind of letting Soul Drinkers know that the Farseer is there. Assault Marines probably will be a bit cautious before they decide to jump, and we have the Tex repositioning his Banshees and the setup team to kind of intercept these guys over here. Man, there's a scout just staring his words out, saying what he knows is true, or what he believes is true, the Emperor. And somehow, during the engagement, they lost two Ranger members. Rangers very, very squishy, but they need to be protected and well guarded by units. And this one we decided to jump that double Avenger squad there. Very ballsy from Tex for not retreating that squad earlier, but the Solomons do jump in on the setup team. We're facing the wrong direction. Here's a shotgun blast on the Banshees. Look at the Banshees taking a huge amount of damage, and they'll end up going down, but the Solomons are taking too much damage. Probably need to retreat after before they lose a member, but they end up losing a member. And there's the fort, so a bit late from Soul Drinkers, but it does manage to hook him back. However, guide casted on that Supreme Weapon team, forcing them off. Let's call it Guardians Weapon team. Doesn't matter. Almost wait, they are. No, they are Guardians. Never mind, I'm a noob. Okay. And we have Soul Drinkers taking up before Tex to tier 2. Tex is actually quite far behind, but well, actually not quite far, not too far behind, but he actually is missing quite a bit of power. And look at the resources, 295 to 232. So Soul Drinker, being actually quite, it's Drinkers. Interesting. Soul Drinkers is ahead of Tex at the moment, which means Tex needs to be more careful. These scouts are retreating, but will they end up going down? No, don't. They do manage to get out of there without losing any more members. And here comes the Assault Marines jumping on in that building, knowing the Shuriken's weapon team was there. A bit silly, a bit ballsy of him. However, he doesn't know that the firing arc is like that, because this hedge is actually blocking that view. So very well placed there by Tex, just using the cover to his advantage. And this Assault Marine squad being careful to move over to the corner and just taking no damage, not taking any losses. Guide commented from there by Soul Drinkers. And we do see a sergeant on the squad. There you can see if his power, oh, shaky. There you go, see if his power swords. It increases the squad's damage. He does paramedic damage, but it won't actually be shown there because he is just an upgrade. And once he dies, actually no, I'm actually quite interested why that doesn't change. But anyway, he also comes with Mercer Strike, so very, 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 very compulsory unit for upgrade to buy when you're playing, especially as the Apothecary. And you've got Submarines. Dreadnought just appearing out of nowhere, even though he had been built, coming onto the fields, and resources are looking quite good for Soul Drinkers, considering he just brought onto the field. Tex, however, probably hasn't got much resources. Probably hasn't got a way to deal with this. He's going for a Bright Lance, and since he actually has upgraded these Banshees to have mirror blades. We won't see an execution or heavy made damage being done to his Dreadnought. But look at the Bright Lance doing quite a bit of damage already. Assault Marines jumping on that squad. Might see Merciless Strike on that squad. There it is. Knocking by the army and huge amounts of damage being done. The squad actually might go down here. Oh, but here's... Oh, what was that? Was that Sight Stones? Sight Stones. Not Delta Legends. Spirit Stones being put out. And this squad escapes with 16 hit points. Why? Why did they stop firing? Probably would have been able to take the squad down there. Oh, unlucky. But we do see a Flamer going up and destroying these generators. And that Dreadnought pounding away at that power node. And he just lost 425 requisition, and that's going to take quite a bit of to replace. However, we do see Fire Dragons on the field now. These guys are a new unit introduced in the Elite. They have melton gun-like weapons, which are basically anti-vehicle, but I'm sure they don't do as much damage as, say, the melton gun from the Separate, because that would be overpowered. Oh, Scout Sergeant being sniped, but as a Sergeant, he has, you know, just buffed. There's an actual word for it, but I can't remember what it's called. Next shot going down on those Assault Marines. Way of Rangers saying FU, and as they walk away behind that power node. And these Dire Avengers decapping this point. I haven't seen much of them in this battle engagement actually. Just decapping. One of the things about having, well, I was about to say having double scouts, but one of the scouts did go down. Let's try and find them. No. No. Oh, okay, they're there. So somehow they managed to die over there. Probably died to the Dire Avengers while they're decapping. I wanted to say that having double scouts basically means that Space Marines only have to commit part of the unit to engagements, while the other unit can. No other unit can actually, well, no other race can really do that as effective as Space Marines. So just think about that when you're trying to go for double Space Marines, like units together, and have one scout capping the other in the engagement. Luckily, it wasn't a shotgun scout that went down, so not too bad. And Soul Drinkers is going for tier 3, which means that he'll have access to more powerful units, particularly Vanguard veterans, which I hope to see. Apparently they've been buffed in 2.2.5 beta. And Gates going up in the corner. I'm not sure if Dave's probably split down. Didn't realise that there wasn't a cooldown on these things, that these things can be built quite quickly, as long as you have, I think it's 75 red resistance. Or Psychic Might, I think it's called for Elder. Or Valor for Space Marines, Psychic Might. I'll check. So, okay. And that Ranger kind of revealing himself and the whereabouts of the enemy. Now, I was just going to see how Soul Drinkers tries to deal with this. Will he? He hasn't noticed that this team is over here, and I don't think he's seen this guy's over here. That's why I thought ends up jumping these Avengers. Pass here puts Doom on the squad, and look at the amount of damage that's being done. Guide also casted on these guys, which means they do more damage. And look at the damage from this Dire Avengers being done to those Assault Marines. Assault Marines trying to take the damage, probably end up losing a member. I'd be very surprised if they don't. And that Guide does go down, probably a black dude, ends up being killed by one of the Dire Avengers shots. Assault Marines have got energy, however, so should end up jumping that squad, which they are going to do. However, they don't have energy for Mercer Strike and end up losing 2 members. Might end up losing the squad here. Look at the damage from these guys. Here's Angels of Death, increases damage by 50%, but they do go down anyway. Elder Banshee's the only squad actually, because of how effective they are at chasing, do 20%, while other units do 30% retreat damage in melee. But look at that, and this squad might end up going down. No, they escape. Oh my gosh, so lucky. And this Elder Hofkri who ended up escaping out of there, saved by the scout shotguns who actually were in the engagement before. And we have Soul Drinkers quite surprised that the summons go down, and is going to end up purchasing the squad. And this brigade, if not dealt with quickly, is probably going to become a huge nuisance. These rangers going around can't really do any damage to these to these buildings, and are just going to decap, going to scout out where the squad is. Perhaps Marines will be able to defeat, however, with a Sergeant will be able to defeat the squad, but instead of that decides to retreat rather than try and take serious damage there. Exarch on both squads, which means that they'll be increasing their melee damage, and also has a weird dart thing like the Elder Warlock. He's just basically a reskin, he does a bit more damage. Oh, that's right, shooting laser bullets through his pistol lightning bolts because he's Elder and Elder OP. These rangers probably going to try and snipe one of those scout models. Is going to snipe one, going down, only level 1, which means they will probably end up losing members from a snipe per shot. And these guys need to be very careful. Not sure if he's actually realised that his squad is taking damage and decides to retreat. They probably should have just pulled away and retreated in a different direction. And they do manage to get out there because Cyrus is a hero, so he won't die quite easily. That's his minions or his squad mates, or guys, worst lead in the world. Some Marines do jump, but it's too far away. These guys, Guardians, right lance seem very quick, allows him to set up, and there is Guide being casted, or is that just a normal range of that vehicle? That's very shocking. Doesn't snare, but does huge amounts of damage. Maybe that will change. I'm not sure if Guide was actually casted. We'll have to find out. Because that is a gigantic range, I actually know that. And in the corner, these ranges just being annoying, decapping that victory point, which is going to make Soul Drinkers commit his entire army. There's Guide casted, I hope, because that range is ridiculous. Yes, that was Guide. Scouts taking damage. Oh, an excellent knockback on the Sergeant, preventing him from throwing a grenade from Tex. And we do see a Land Raider coming out from Soul Drinkers, wondering why he was saving his resources there.
We must not lose the day.
And a Wraith Lord comes out on the field, can't see him because his teammates was on the field. And there he is with his weird teardrop shaped head, kicking down, breaking stuff because he doesn't give a damn. And he's a walker unit for the Elder army. Might be able to counter this Space Marine Dreadnought, especially now that it's been upgraded with the Bright Lance. Does 20 armor piercing damage. It's excellent. Excellent to dealing with vehicles. You take the Razorbacks that no one gets anymore from Zelda because this thing has 100 efficiency. I'm not sure if that was changed in the update, but as you can see.
You shall have it.
Strategic location spotted.
Right, so, anyway, sort of brain in the moment there while I was thinking about stuff. And here comes the Land Raider! Oh, excellent timing. And there it comes, pops up on the field, has 2 Inferno cannons on its sides. And has an assault cannon on the top with a melter gun just above that, multi-melter, sorry, just above that. So, okay at dealing with vehicles, very effective against infantry, and also acts as a retreating hub. These guys deciding to go behind this tree, huddling together for the next attack. Brothers, we may not survive. But anyway, let's go. So there they go into the corner, deciding to just do the exact same thing. And this tank looks a bit confused, driver's a bit confused. And it seems that Soul Drinkers is actually waiting for something. This Dire Avenger is going to try and catch them, using clear to get around the map quickly. And these rangers in the corner trying to just annoy and decap, but slowly and surely this map is actually turning completely blue. Assault Marines do jump that Dire Avenger squad, jumping in behind them, but there's no support. What are the other squads doing? There's chilling there. Didn't expect the Banshees to be there. And there's goes Merced Strike. There's Doomcast, as you see by the red sphere circle around them. And here comes the army, big engagement, probably going to move off, while the rest of the force is actually over here. So 8 units for Tex actually on the field. But he doesn't yet know about this Land Raider, I don't believe. I don't think he's seen it. Decides to pull back. So, hang on. Decides to pull back, excuse me. Decides to pull back this weapons team. Oh wait, there's another one. Got two. Oh, he's got two now, has he? Okay, he's got two. So that's going to be probably has seen the Land Raider then, and probably very effective for dealing with that right launchers, double right launchers. Plus with the support from the Banshees and the Avengers. They should be able to protect this weapons team and the anyway, good engagement. Full auto goes down on that fast, as you can see by the red bar there, knocking him back. Scouts a bit too forward, needs to come back a bit. Assault Marine should be taking most of the blows and probably should activate retreat on this guys. Look at the amount of damage they are taking. Managed to get out of there. 54 hit points, but look at the damage from this Dreadnought. The Dreadnought is taking. This Assault Marine's gonna wipe out squad. A huge knockback from the Assault Marine Sergeant. Gonna take out these Banshees as well as killing off those Guardians weapons teams. And this is the power of Assault Marines if they can be used effectively, especially if the Banshees take quite a bit of damage. And look at the damage these guys are taking. Probably end up going down if they don't retreat now. Huge knockback saving that squad, but they're gonna be focus fired down by the Apothecary. 20 hit points, 2 hit points, and they end up going down to the Land Raider. However, we did see also the drop on the field, which means that that's going to be replacing the Banshees, basically, just trying to annoy and type squads. Scouts are on the field as well, again. And we have a full auto from the Apothecary. Going to use that on the Autarch. Shotgun blast, probably going to go down on this Autarch. Probably, maybe, perhaps, no. Decides not to. And she's just going to jump out of there, hide to hell that. Says, screw that, I am not dealing with these Space Marine Scouts, and decides to run away. Not sure why this thing did that. Decides to flame the squad using its mines. Completely forgot about this ability. As mines on the front, which basically knocks back friendly and enemy units that are stationed in front of it in a weird cone thing. So kind of like the avatars of OP, ability where he does this weird knockback from this massive sword. Scouts trying to counter that, but the tank says no, screw you, I want to come past and I will do so because I'm a tank. And the scouts only go around this guy behind, trying to cap that point over there. And so calm before the storm. Wraith Lord on the field as well to replace that right lance weapons team that did go down. This vehicle taking an unnecessary amount of damage from these guys. There comes the jump. No Banshees to support it. Might end up going down. Grenade, multi-bomb, sorry, goes down on that Wraith Lord. Tactical Marines need to come up closer to them getting full range. Assault Marine ends up taking quite a bit of damage. And the Sergeant was killed, and so was another member. Oh, look at him. Wriggly and crippled there. Still hold these chains from Hammer. And there comes a rocket launcher. Sorry, missile launcher from the Tactical Marines doing huge amounts of damage. And there's the melter gun also doing light AV to vehicles. Needs to chase it down, needs to be a bit faster. Probably should get stimp maps from armor priority and improved medical equipment, which that's actually fine. Armor priority probably could change the stimp maps just to help his assault marines do extra damage and ignore suppression and decrease range coming fire. Tactical Marines try to force melee on this Wraith Boss squad who have been upgraded with their Warlock, decide to walk away. And this gate has been rebuilt. Also decides to jump in against this seems little arc against Land Raider, who manages to knock it back, but that thing is doing power melee to it. And these guys need to be very careful, ends up losing a member, being split into bits completely, and they might escape out there. There's the Wraith Lord and the and the Bright Lance coming on the field, and look at the damage these Tactical Marines are taking. Probably just retreat, and there goes and they shall know no fear, which basically you see through the circle arc there. But they need to do activate melee. That means they can't be suppressed, but when they activate melee or turn against and do melee, they also do knockback to enemy units. And a full auto attack from the Apothecary ends up killing there, and there was a knockback, wiping her out, knocking her back, and there she is, crippled, not doing anything. And suddenly she's got a helmet. And when she dies, she places her helmet on her head. Very interesting. Or am I thinking of something else? No, that's always been there. Okay, my bad. Thinking of Unicorn 2, Retribution. Another Autark cooldown manages to Soldrinkers manages to dodge that easily, and this Autark looks a bit confused. The Tactical Marine is probably going to retreat towards this Land Raider, which would be a good idea if they did so. Getting jumped on by the Autark, knocking back, and there goes that member. Probably going to go down instantly. No! Oh, what? Whoa! Oh, beast! But ends up getting knocked back by the Autark's special attack. And this Wraith Lord in a very dangerous situation, obviously being attacked by the submarines. And we do see a Terminator call in from Soul Drinkers, which means that he's going to do huge amounts of damage to these units. A huge grenade goes down on that team, wiping out Sky and Submarine alike. But it is going to go down before, and there goes the missile launcher, sort of finishing it off. Thrasher shoots needs and gets his face completely run over by that tank. And this team to a hulking wreck. Submarines do decide to jump that thing, and oh my gosh, look at the damage that this tank is taking. No one's tying it up, and that Bright Loss is going to completely wipe it out. Managed to escape out of there, and there goes the Land Raider. Huge advantage lost for Soul Drinkers, just for not paying attention. Guides probably used on that team as well. And yes, I was stretching, because this chair I'm sitting on is atrocious. So, shockingly, Tex is actually losing, which I find quite surprising considering he had quite a few units in the field, but Soul Drink is obviously looking after that Land Raider, helping a lot with the extra health regeneration, and also playing very conservatively. He's like not getting engaged into engagements where they don't favour him. He's hanging back, he's not pushing straight away, but now he's got an excellent engagement for him. He's jumped the squad. These guys stick around a bit too long. There's a knockback and being knocked on the foot, which means they take damage while being taken down. And there comes the scouts to annoy this Autark. Look at the damage those shotguns do. These are level 2 scouts. 4 Autark might probably go down. There it goes a bit too late, allowing the Autark to escape out of there. And these scouts are just going to cap that point while the Apothecary goes up to rejoin the rest of his army. Assault Marines missing a member. Upgraded with, yes, Vanguard! Awesome! Upgraded with Vanguard. Veteran squads, who basically turns them into first company Assault Marine veterans. Very effective, taking quite a bit of damage from those guys, but they're going to be tied up by the Terminators, and here they come, Vanguard veteran squads, each of them trained differently with Assault Marines, with 2 of them with power swords, 1 with a lightning claw and the other with a massive thunder hammer, thinking he's a Marvis or something. And this tactical Marine squad being caught off guard by the 5 benches and the hero, being jumped, and let's see the damage that these guys do. No, they managed to smartly get out of there, retreat, and this Farseer is going to run through these guys, but they do decide to focus down this power node. And resources for Soul Drinkers looking excellent, despite the fact that he had less resources at the beginning, or well, towards the mid game when half the map was actually blue. But obviously being able to hold off Tex has actually proved very helpful. And we see a second Wraith Lord on the field. Scouts going up against this Warlock, knocking her back. So, Autark, sorry, knocking her back. Her shield actually doesn't protect her from knockback, as you can see there, unlike the Force Commander or Warlock shield. And there goes Angels of Death being activated against these guys. Look at the damage they're doing to it. And even with a Thunder Hammer, 4 Auto probably going to be casted down on this Farseer, and there she goes, being knocked back. Assault Marines trying to engage these. Look at the damage they're doing to these Wraith Guard. Probably going to go down. There goes the squad. Probably will go down. No, they end up retreating with 38 hit points. Getting picked up and thrown away by that Wraith Lord. And there's the game. Didn't even realise the points. And there's the game. GG. Well played by both Soul Drinkers and Tex. Good second half of that engagement. Mid-game looks a lot like it was in Tex's favour, but that Land Raider's been on the field holding Tex. Losing the Banshees there obviously hurt Tex a lot. And I honestly believe that maybe even getting a, what they called, jump team. No. Spiders. Warp Spiders. Leg Spiders. Warp Spiders would have been a bit more helpful maybe than the Wraith Guard. I think the Wraith Guard was a bad choice there, considering Assault Marines were on the field and he didn't have any anti-melee or melee squads to kind of deal with that. So anyway, good game. Hope you guys enjoyed it, and I will see you later. L.OP. Lol.